At the moment of spiritual awakening has come within you with these 20 signs. Spiritual awakening marks the beginning of our journey into the realm of the soul and spirit, things that we have long lost connection with. Born into a modern society where material development is valued more than anything else, the mysteries of life are hardly given any attention. Everything we do, from planning, working, dressing, and talking, is based on the recognition that the outside world is merely a material realm with no difference. The consequence of this mistaken self-awareness is that we become shallow and empty. We might achieve success, wealth, respect, love, or even fame, but none of these can fill the void and soullessness within us. Fortunately, there are moments in this life when we become aware of the emptiness within ourselves. For a while, we might ignore its sacred call and try to stuff that emptiness with material comforts or external excitements. However, we can never escape from it. One fine day, our lives begin to break apart, split, and the ground collapses beneath our feet. We fall, scream, and cry, finally plunging into the abyss of disintegration. You might have experienced, or are currently going through a spiritual crisis that seems distressing, but in the end, it is the salvation of the soul and spirit. We will explore what this means for you and what you can expect from this journey. You may have already been or are currently experiencing this page of the spiritual crisis, which is not a cause for concern. It's an opportunity for our souls to understand what it means to you and what experiences you can gain through this process. The signs of spiritual awakening appeared in me about 6 months ago. At that time, I was deeply ingrained with the doctrines and devoutness of the Protestant Church, in which I was raised. I started to question and sense that there is much more to life than what religion has taught me. I began to feel lost and extremely lonely. I had no friends outside of the church to talk to about my emotions, and I had no genuine confidant to share my thoughts with. My family either didn't understand or didn't want to understand what I was going through. As a result, I felt distant and overwhelmed by loneliness, which led me to face depression and chronic anxiety. These things persisted for the following years. It is worrying and somewhat fair about the phenomenon of spiritual awakening. It happens at the most unexpected times, and there's no way you can plan for it. It comes crashing into your life and disrupts everything, like a tornado. But hidden inside it is the gift that it will only happen when you need it the most. Spiritual awakening is the call of the soul to freedom. Listen to its call, and your life will be transformed into something meaningful and significant. Reject its call, and your life will be an empty graveyard. When I experienced the spiritual awakening, I had no idea what was happening to me. I was only certain that I was going crazy or would be damned to eternal hell for questioning everything I had been taught. I really enjoyed reading a simple article that described all the signs of spiritual awakening and their importance. So I'm honored to share them with you now, hoping they can confirm what you're going through. The physical signs of awakening vary for everyone. Below are some symptoms that I've experienced and others have shared with me on their soul awakening journey. Amplification of the senses. For example, vision, hearing, taste, touch, and even sitting become more sensitive. You might discover that you are an SSD, highly sensitive soul detector. You find that you can't tolerate certain foods that you haven't encountered before or perhaps no longer care about, such as allergies to wheat, beans, soy, spices, or changes in sleep patterns. You may sleep more or experience disruptions in your sleep, leading to vivid dreams that become frightening or intense, feeling dizzy or disoriented as a result of spending the whole day in a floating state, not grounded. Your weight might fluctuate, either increasing or decreasing, and your eating habits may change as things you used to enjoy are no longer appealing. Furthermore, you might occasionally experiment with different types of food that you've never tried or preferred before. Fluctuations in energy. Feeling less energetic than before, decreased or increased sexual desire, decreased immune function, and susceptibility to various illnesses, or possibly increased immune function, are signs of spiritual awakening and emotional experiences. These symptoms are shared by a majority of those going through the awakening process. 1. You feel like your life card is a mistake. Everything that before the day you built, believed in and worked so hard for. In the end, they all just didn't seem right. Your life. You feel like it's not yours anymore. You crave meaning and purpose. You really want to find your life's meaning. You don't know what your purpose is, but you want to find it anyway. 3. You realize that a lot of what you've been taught are lies. You start to examine how many of your ideals and values aren't really yours. They come from others, or as a result of other cultures. 4. You feel completely lost and alone. Nothing in your life can make sense anymore. You feel as if you are wandering through an endless wilderness, a stranger wandering. You feel completely alone and disconnected from all others. 5. You see through the illusions of society, materialism, success, and profit that no longer mean anything to you. You begin to feel as if you are a cog in the social machine giant guild. 6. You can see that most people are unhappy. You are awakened by unhappiness and suffering from others. You can start to explore positivism or read more about the human condition. It makes you realize how much pain there is in the world. 7. You begin to experience empathy. You begin to experience deep empathy and compassion as you begin to pay more attention to the difficult situations that people and nature face. Compassion. Your compassion and love will begin to grow continuously. Your understanding will awaken, and you will find it difficult to cope with the many intensity of emotions that arise within you. Here are the key point, so you can numb the pain with addiction, or you'll find a healthy way to accept your feelings. 8. You long to be alone. You long for solitude. If you used to be an extrovert, now is the time when you experience the inner aspects of your nature. You spend a lot of time understanding and enjoying the silence. At all costs, you try to reduce social contact. At this point, you may lose touch with old friends. 9. Every conversation becomes quite shallow. When you talk to people, you realize there's a huge gap in thinking. You realize that very few people are comfortable with passion, emotion, meaning, and soul. In conversations, you feel restless and resentful, having to talk about trivial things. You silently scream, "Doesn't anyone want to wake up to realize what's going on inside?" Your frustration through conversations will make me lonelier. It will turn me into lone wolves. 10. You want to quit your job, even though you've worked for years to gain credibility, establish a career, and climb the career ladder. Up to this point, you are nothing but emptiness. Your work no longer provides you with a sense of fulfillment and joy. You crave more. 11. You long for authenticity, and the truth of being yourself becomes the #1 priority inside of you. You hate the fake and the masks you used before. You want to re-authenticate yourself. The falsehood makes you feel depressed and disgusted. 12. You become aware of your previous negative habits. You painfully realize how your mistakes and bad habits cause consequences. There is a strong urge in you to dredge up the books, clean up and start over. 13. You feel anxious or depressed. You may experience severe depressions or persistent depression, tremors after spiritual awakening, leaving you feeling unsettled. You may be misdiagnosed with a mental health examination. 14. You want to do something to make the world a better place when you wake up. When you wake up, you want to see the world become a better place. 15. You want to really get to know who you are. An endless question arises about your identity and your life. For example, who am I? Why was I born? What am I here for? What is the purpose of my existence? As a result, you start reading a lot of self-help books and texts related to spirituality and spirituality. It is not surprising that you have been reading these lines here. 16. Your intuition becomes more parsimonious. Gradually, you begin to listen to the small and still voice coming from within your body. You let it guide your decisions, and eventually, you begin to discover your hidden gifts and talents. 17. Meaningful randomness, synchronicity, compatibility, is the phenomenon of two or more events that are not related to each other, unlikely to occur at the same time by chance, but occur at the same time, in a meaningful way. You begin to be aware of the many signs and attentions that life gives you. Life becomes receptive and interactive with you. The ability to pray for luck, the ability to accidentally discover luck. 18. You feel like knowing more things and are more curious. The smallest things start to give you joy and happiness. One piece is falling. A spider's web, a young child's laughter, a puddle of water. Life is no longer ignored. It is considered wonderfully beautiful. 19. You begin to love unconditionally. When the barriers of self fall, you begin to love the person, without expecting anything in return, or without requiring any conditions for your act of love. You lose interest in all the dramatic happenings, conflicts, and anything that perpetuates hatred. 20. You see, we are all one. You not only know intellectually that we are all connected, but you feel it in your bones. You realize that our thoughts and beliefs influence reality, and that we are all fragments of the great Almighty. That's the spirit. After all, we are all one, and we all find peace. This stage sometimes takes several years, or can take a lifetime. In the end, I have no idea what meditation is, what will be the result of your mental awakening, and you're probably not sure at this point, but let me tell you this uncertainty is well worth your time. As I went through my spiritual awakening, I had an unshakable feeling that I was falling through an endless void of darkness. The dark night of my soul taught me many things, even though it caused me to go through unimaginable suffering. So let pain be your teacher. Surrender to the inevitable, give yourself courage, keep going, love your flaws, you are not alone.